All right. Right, just go right. There you go.
So I'm assuming we have our new guy in there with you.
Right.
B team.
The B.
We're good to go.
You all set?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the April 27th River Falls City Council meeting. First thing we'll do is say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to
Allegiance to the flag,
United States
United
of America,
States of America,
and to the republic
to the
for which it
republic for which it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
liberty and justice for all.
That needs work.
Yeah. Christy, can we do a roll call, please?
Yes. Bierstead,
Here.
Harrow,
Here.
Downing,
Here.
Morissette,
Here.
Miller,
Here.
Odine,
Here.
Plunkett.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. Next, we have approval of the minutes from the April 13th meeting.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion, we approve the minutes from the April 13th meeting.
Second.
The first and second, any questions or comments on the minutes? Christy, we have first and second on the April 13th minutes.
A first by Morissette, a second by Downing. We'll start the vote with Mr. Plunkett.
Aye.
Odine,
Aye.
Harrow,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Morissette,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Bierstead.
Aye.
You.
Next, move on to approval of
Hmm.
bills with Mr. Bierstead.
Mayor and council, I move to approve payment of bills in the amount of $880,000, $331.34, subject to the comptroller.
Second.
First and second, any questions or comments? Christy, you got a first and second on the bills?
A first by Bierstead, a second by Morissette. We'll start the vote with Ms. Odine.
Aye.
Downing,
Aye.
Morissette,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Harrow.
Aye.
Bierstead,
Aye.
Plunkett.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Next, move on to public comments. John, phone or in person?
Yes, there is in person.
Okay.
Hello, Benjamin Fox, 2529 Paul Avenue. I was just going to wonder if the city administrator knew if there was any actions going to be taken on agenda item number 13, and that was all.
Thanks, Ben. Anybody else, John?
Mr. Mayor, when you're done with those, I do have a public comment.
There is no one else.
Anybody on the phone?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Morissette?
I'd just like to recognize Mike Stifter. On Saturday, the River Falls Rotary Club went to Veterans Park and cleaned up the park. We've kind of adopted that park and cleaned it up in the fall and the spring. And Mike Stifter from the city operations group came out with a truck and then also brought out several loads of mulch for us to spread and get the park ready for the summer. But Mike went above and beyond, coming in on a Saturday to help. And so I really appreciate it. I know the Rotary Club appreciates it. And I just wanted to publicly recognize him. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Morissette. And thanks, Mike. Okay, so let's move on. We do have a couple new council members tonight, so I'd like to publicly welcome them. First, we have Nick Carroll, who is representative for District 2, and we have Alyssa Miller, who is representative for District 3. I don't know if either one of them wanted to say anything.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, but I have nothing else to say. Thank you, though.
Okay, yep, thank you, Mr. Carroll. Okay,
I just wanted to say thank you to everybody in the city and fellow council members for making this first few weeks a little less scary. So thank you, everyone.
okay. Well, we meant to make it really scary. Sorry, we screwed up. Okay, so
Mr.
welcome
Mayor?
to both. Welcome to both you guys. It's a pleasure to have you on council. Yes, Mr. Downing.
Oh, I just wanted a chance to say welcome to council, and I look forward to working with both of you. And one of the recommendations I have for everybody is using our municipal league memberships and staying current with our education that's offered through our relationship with their their annual conference because they offer best practices for our members, which we all are. So I just wanted a chance to say welcome and enjoy what we have in front of us as a group. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Okay, next, before we go further, I want to take a minute to recognize Ann McAlpine, who is River Falls Housing Authority Director. So on April 30th, Ann McAlpine is retiring after 27 years as the Executive Director of the River Falls Housing Authority. With a career of 40 years in administrating affordable housing programs, Ann's expertise led to expansion of the services available to low and moderate income people in River Falls. 40 additional housing choice vouchers were added to provide rent subsidy to people living in private market rentals. Landlords in River Falls receive over $300,000 of subsidy each year. A new program serving homeless veterans has just begun. Ann's experience provided River Falls Housing Authority an opportunity to manage existing affordable housing in Prescott also. Fees earned by managing Prescott Housing Authority provided seed money to add housing in River Falls. With this unencumbered resource, Ann applied for and received funding from 4 different sources to build Windmill Place in 2007. Windmill Place was the first new construction for River Falls Housing Authority in over 20 years. Maintaining existing housing stock is important to Ann. Using various resources, Ann ensured that all properties were inviting and well maintained. Oak Park Apartments were remodeled in 2018 and through 2019, and Edgewater and Briarwood were remodeled in 2019 and 2020. Ann provided hands-on care as she managed minimal disruptions in tenants as they had their kitchens, floors, bathrooms, and windows replaced. Ann encouraged employee growth. 5 of the 8 River Falls Housing Authority employees have worked at the River Falls Housing Authority for over 10 years. With Ann as a mentor, employees have left to become an executive director in a neighboring housing authority and to serve low-income families in Pierce County. Ann, I'd like to take this time to thank you and congratulate you on your retirement and moving on to the next chapter in your life. And I greatly appreciate all that you've done for River Falls Housing. And I know Ann's on here somewhere, so if she would like to take a minute to say a few words, she's more than welcome.
Hi, thank you, Mr.
There she
Mayor.
is.
Thank you, City Council. Yeah, I will take a few minutes. I want to thank the city for supporting affordable housing in River Falls. It's really satisfying to know that some of the housing being built is affordable for low and moderate income families. Thank you for making sure that happened. I know that in the housing life cycle, new housing opens up existing housing so renters can find a good place to live. Making sure there are good places for lower income citizens to live has been my career of 40 years and my mission here in River Falls for 27 years. 2 years ago, River Falls Housing Authority celebrated its 50th birthday. I can't tell you how many people I've met who've had a grandparent or relative who lived in one of our buildings. I hope you'll continue to support the Housing Authority, the programs, and the administration as these buildings age. As Mr. Mayor said, we completed major renovations in 3 of the 5 buildings designated for elderly and disabled housing. I know that these buildings are in really good shape. Our buildings receive federal funds, they meet a need in our community, and it's important that the city continue to support this broad range of housing options for our citizens. Keep supporting affordable federal rent assistance programs here in River Falls. Finally, I thank you for the opportunities I've had to work with council and staff. I've enjoyed working with you because you have the same passion, about your work as I have about mine. I am a passionate affordable housing provider. It's what I will be. It's what I plan to do as I move forward. As my board of commissioners knows, I plan to move out of the area this summer. I found a new hometown, and it's very similar to River Falls. Siloam Springs, Arkansas even has a river running right through downtown. So I will miss you, and I thank you for everything.
Thanks, Ann. Good luck on everything moving forward.
Mr. Mayor,
Appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor, could I add something?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Bruce.
Well, I personally want to thank Ann, and we'll have more chances to do that, but on Thursday evening from 4 to 6, we're having a little gathering at Ann for the West Wind. So please, all of you are invited. Feel free to come. I think Ann's buying all the beer, I think.
Oh,
I think that's what I heard.
So I'm just buying snacks.
Okay, all right. But anyway, from 4 to 6 on Thursday, if you can join us, that would be great.
Thank you.
thanks. Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, let's move on to the consent agenda. First is the acknowledgement of the following minutes. The Police and Fire Commission from 1/27, the Park and Rec Advisory Board from 3/17, the Library Board from 3/1, the Plan Commission from 3/2, the Bid Board from 3/9, the Utility Advisory Board from 3/15, and the West Central Wisconsin Biosolids Facility from 2/18. Next one is a resolution awarding the bid for the 2021 Route and Sill Program. This resolution will award the bid to Asphalt Surfaces Technology, which was the low bidder, in the amount of $90,500. Does anybody want to pull anything?
Mayor, I'd like to pull consent agenda item number 5.
Okay, Mr. Downing. Anybody else? I'll take a motion on the rest.
Mayor, make a motion, we pass consent agenda number 4A through G.
Second.
Okay, we have first and second. Any questions or comments? Christie, we have a first and a second on consent agenda item 4A through G.
I'm sorry, I missed the second.
Dean.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, a first by Morset, a second by Odine to pass the remainder of the consent agenda. We'll start the vote with Ms. Miller.
Aye.
Plunkett,
Aye.
Bierstead,
Aye.
Morset,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Odine,
Aye.
Carol.
Aye.
You.
Mr. Downey, you polled number 5.
Resolution awarding bid for 2021 Route and Sill Program. Mr. Mayor, most cities that are medium to small do not have a warranty stamp that is used for insurance purposes on concrete and pavement. The reason is it would not be cost effective to do so. So if we had bad concrete or a hard washout somewhere in a curb and gutter or pavement, for example, our city has a process that we use to address these problems that come up and prioritize them with a color chart based on immediate need of repair. I'd like to ask our city administrator if he could, Scott Simpson, if he could briefly describe this process for council members and residents of our city, so they would know what to expect and as far as a timeline and the process, when we run into problems in our community, and how we'd go about dealing with them.
Sure, I can speak to that. So our engineering staff is monitoring the conditions of the road surface, also does periodic visual inspections of curb gutter. Sidewalk is typically done on a complaint basis, or if we're doing other major projects in the area, but we don't have a systematic inspection of sidewalks. In the case where we do authorized construction, and we believe that there's faulty workmanship or there's some areas that are a problem, that's typically recorded in our geographic information system, or in other words, we've electronically mapped contracts and who's doing the work. The route and seal that is in front of you this evening is something that typically would be reviewed by a staff member. on a periodic basis. They're not inspecting every inch, so to speak, of the crack fill, but they will do some periodic inspections of it. And then we do monitor kind of how that stands up over time too. There has been times when we've asked a contractor, maybe they're a couple hours in, they may have multiple crews, and we may talk to the foreman about a particular crew that we think isn't doing it as well as they could be. But we find now that a lot of these firms are specialized in their business areas, business lines, that they're pretty good and pretty efficient at what they're doing. So, and city engineers talk to one another, so they're the primary warranty we have with these things is their reputation and their desire to get future work from other municipalities. Does that answer your questions?
It does. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to note that I've had a very positive experience working with the city staff when I've had problem areas in our community and bringing it in front of them. We've been able to help prioritize and address the problems as they come up efficiently doing the way we have. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. And with that, I move approval for the resolution awarding the bid for 2021 route and seal program.
Second.
Mr. Mayor,
Mayor,
you're
you're
muted.
Is there any other questions or comments on number 5? No. Chrissy, we have first and second on consent agenda 5.
First by Downing, a second by Bierstead. We'll start the vote with Mr. Morissette.
Aye.
Carroll.
Aye.
Plunkett.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Odine.
Aye.
Bierstead.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, number 6 is a resolution approving specific implementation plan and development agreement between the City of River Falls and T-Buck Properties LLC for Dawes Place Phase 1. And I'll take a motion on this.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion. We approve the implementation plan.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Questions or comments on this one? Okay, Chris, we have first and second on.
One question, Mr. Mayor.
Yep, go ahead.
Mr. Simpson, did we have any questions or concerns from the public that were addressed to the city?
Councilmember Downing, I did not receive any direct comments. Perhaps the mayor or would have been Representative Watson at the time may have been contacted. I believe the staff memo indicated that we did have at least one contact to staff, but that they didn't choose to do a kind of a formal comment or anything to the council for your consideration.
I had a couple of questions that were directed and I answered them the best I could. And I ran the questions by staff too. So, all right. It sounds like all those other questions were resolved that were there then. All right. Thank you.
Okay, Chris, we have first and a second on number 6, the resolution approving the specific that's a tough word, implementation plan.
Yes, a first by Morissette, a second by Odine. And just to note, it does include the development agreement as well. We'll
Yes,
start the
yes,
vote
yes,
with
I'm sorry.
Nope, that's okay. With Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Plunkett.
Aye.
Bierstead.
Aye.
Morissette.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Odine.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. Number 7 is an ordinance 2021-03, amending titles 16 and 17 of the Municipal Code pursuant to the terms of the cooperative boundary plan between the City of River Falls and the Town of Kinnickinnic. This is the first reading. And the second reading and disposition will be on May 11th. Are there any questions on this from the council?
I
Yep,
would just
go
ask,
ahead, Mr. Burstead.
I would just ask if this is substantially the same that we agreed to several months ago. Is this just formalizing what we already have agreed to?
In the boundary agreement?
Yes.
Yeah, Councilmember Bierstadt, this is essentially, we're kind of crossing our Ts and dotting our Is. There was some, in order to implement the agreement between the town and the city, on our kind of our final review, there was one thing that we needed the assistance of the county in order to coordinate, to avoid kind of multiple loops for petitioners. So the county has since agreed.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions on this one? Okay, so let's go to. So we're not going to have a report on the Alina EMS. It's just there for the council to see if they have any questions about it. And Jason's here if they have any questions. Am I correct on that one?
That's correct, Mr. Mayor.
Yep. So for the EMS update, was there any questions for Mr. Stroud on this? It looks like they're doing a great job, Jason. I couldn't be happier.
I will
So-
pass that on, and I certainly will let you know if anything comes up that I think you should be made aware of.
Okay, thanks. Okay, we'll move on to the comptroller's report. Ms. Odine.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Comptroller's report for March 2021. General fund revenues through the end of March were $4,002,377, or 35% of total budgeted revenues for the year. Revenues in March included $62,130 from recreational program revenue, $28,077 in building permit fees, and $13,700 in subdivision fees. Year-to-date expenditures through the end of March were $2,197,744, or 19% of total budget expenditures for the year. As of March 31st, 2021, revenues in excess of expenditures were $1,804,633.
Thank you, Ms. Odine. Okay, next move on. We have 3 proclamations to read, and Mr. Morissette will read the first one for us.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have the honor of reading the proclamation for Police Appreciation Week. Whereas the police officers of River Falls have worked devotedly and unselfishly on behalf of the people of this community, regardless of peril or hazard to themselves, these officers have safeguarded the lives and property of all in River Falls, and by their service and their dedicated efforts, these men and women have earned the gratitude of the city of River Falls. And whereas in 1962, President John F. Kennedy was authorized by Congress to proclaim May 15th of each year as National Peace Officer Memorial Day in honor of all peace officers who have been killed or disabled in the line of duty. And whereas the presidential proclamation also designated that each year, the calendar week in which May 15th occurs or precedes shall be proclaimed Police Appreciation Week in recognition of this service given by the men and women who day and night stand guard in our communities, and proclaim May 15th, 2021 as Peace Officers Memorial Day. Now, therefore, Dan Tolan, Mayor of River Falls, does hereby proclaim the week of May 9th through the 15th, 2021 as Police Appreciation Week in the city of River Falls, and encourage all citizens to observe the week with law enforcement officers, past and present, who by their faith and loyal devotion to their responsibilities have rendered a dedicated service to the community, and proclaim May 15th, 2021 as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of those law enforcement officers who, through their courageous deeds, have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to their community or have become disabled in the service of their duty. Under his hand and seal, the city of River Falls, this 27th day of April, 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Morissette. Ms. Odine will read our next one.
Uh, Professional Municipal Clerks Appreciation Week, May 2nd through 8th, 2021. Whereas the time-honored role that professional municipal clerks display in local governments throughout the world is the oldest profession among public servants and ensures transparency and communication between the citizens, the governing bodies, and agencies at the local, county, and state level. And whereas the duties of the professional municipal clerks are vital, including serving as the official record keeper, issuing licenses and permits, facilitating the annual board of review, municipal redistricting projects, attending meetings, and serving as a community resource. And whereas the 1,854 municipal clerks contribute to election administration by attending required training and dedicating themselves to providing fair, non-biased, nonpartisan, accurate, and responsible elections in Wisconsin. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Dan Toland, do hereby recognize the week of May 2nd through 8th, 2021 as Professional Municipal Clerks Appreciation Week, and further extend appreciation to our staff for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Given under his hand and seal of the City of River Falls, this 27th day of April, 2021.
Thank you, Ms. Odine. And the last one is Arbor Day of 2021. Whereas trees are a vital resource in the city of River Falls, across Wisconsin, the nation, and the world. And whereas trees help to conserve soil and energy, filter our air, and intercept stormwater runoff from entering our waterways. They combat climate change, create jobs, provide wildlife habitat, and make our homes, cities, and countrysides more livable and beautiful. And whereas human activities, along with acts of nature, threaten our trees, creating the need for concentrated action to ensure the future of our rural and urban forest. And whereas each year in late April, Arbor Day is celebrated as people across the country pay special attention to the wonderful treasures our trees represent and dedicate themselves to the continued health of our forest. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Dan Toland, Mayor of the City of River Falls, do hereby proclaim April 30th, 2021 to be Arbor Day in the City of River Falls, Wisconsin. Be it further resolved that I urge all citizens to become more aware of the importance of trees to their well-being and to participate in tree planting programs that will ensure a healthy and green city and an inheritance for future generations in River Falls. Given under my hand and seal of the City of River Falls, this 27th day of April, 2021. Okay. Next, we're going to closed session. We recess in closed session per Wisconsin State Statute 19.85, i.e. for the following purposes: deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investment of public funds, or conducting other specified public business. Whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, to it, land for storm, sanitary, and water utility extension in Man Valley. So I'll take a motion on this.
Mr. Mayor, I move we go into closed session.
Second.
Chris, do we have first and a second for going into closed session?
I have a first by Odine.
Oh. Did you have a question, Mr. Plunkett?
Yeah, discussion after the clerk is going to share, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Are we planning, it looks like on the agenda, we're planning on returning to open session on this one afterwards for potentially some action. And how will that work for the public watching through the video?
It'll be taped like this is.
But then will we resume
John, I'm
broadcast?
assuming this will go live once we come back and let you know we're going into open session.
Mayor and council, I don't anticipate that you will come back for action.
Oh,
so
okay.
we weren't planning to, we were planning to end the video. We will keep the council chamber, we'll close the council chambers while you're in closed session. And then when you come back into open session, you'll give us a second. We'll open council chambers back up.
Okay.
If somebody wanted to kind of keep an eye on us but we're not I'm not proposing that you come out of closed session and take action. But it is
Okay.
worth noting that that's on the agenda, so you have the opportunity to do that.
And we can restream it and do all that if we want.
Does the council want us to stream the when we close, after we come into open session, when we adjourn?
Okay.
Or are we okay with doing it like we did last time? Where we just close the stream down when we go into closed session? What does everybody want to do?
I have a parliamentary inquiry for the rules on this. In the sense of what the legal statutes are we required to go back into open session, or can we make that as a formal motion when we go into closed session?
Go ahead, Dean.
We need to go back into open session so we can adjourn. That's the one reason that we need to do that. It's kind of a technical thing, but it gives closure to the meeting, so you know that in fact it ended and was adjourned.
Thank you, Councilmember Odine. I would completely agree. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay. So John, we're okay just ending the video when we go into closed session. We won't be doing anything when we come out, but adjourning.
All right, that sounds good. And we'll have the doors open when we get to
We'll
that
wait. We'll wait till you give us the high five to.
Right, thanks.
Okay. So Christy, we have first and a second to go into closed session.
A first, Ms. Odine, a second by Morissette. We'll start the vote with Mr. Bierstead.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Plunkett.
Aye.
Odine.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Carroll.
Aye.
Morissette.
Aye.
You.
Thanks, Christy. Okay, we're in closed session. John, just let us know when you're ready.